world teams.
Edwards.
They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.
Oh, it's on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, baby.
Welcome to Wolves After Dark, everybody. I'm still sick, but I'm mostly better. And I think I'll be able to talk. However, this will be a shorter show. If you're new here, like the stream. If you're new here, subscribe. And let me know your player of the game. Might have a unique one tonight. But Timberwolves win 134-93. The way it should have been on Wednesday. And we should have won Monday. Unfortunately, I missed both of those games, I think. But man, oh man. I mean, realistically, the first half of this game wasn't that great either. We had better energy tonight for sure, but I just don't know. I mean, Zion kind of killed us Wednesday and always kills us. And I said it in the Discord, but he just kind of like, he's so good that he breaks our spirit kind of a deal. It's pretty disheartening to see. Luckily, he did not play tonight. And Joe Ingles made the start. How about that? That's a cool story, though. A1 for Joe Ingles. First one in the chat tonight was Ronald. Jim Pete said it best at the end of the broadcast, 40 assists. Funny how much easier the game is when you share the ball. For real. I mean, we have been doing a lot of one-on-one stuff. I mean, tonight we have, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in double figures tonight. So that's really good. Ish, where did Anthony Edwards go? I think tonight he had better energy, and I think he played pretty well tonight. He still gets lost on defense. Him and Nas are kind of infuriating on defense off ball because they just are doing nothing a lot of the time. But no, this is a game where I'm accepting of Anthony Edwards not having a crazy game because you had so many people going off, and it was kind of even. And I thought he still had some impact moments. Like he made 3. Oh, he only made 3. The over/under was 4 or 3.5. I thought he made some impact threes, though, for sure. So I think he was okay. Jalen Clark will be next season's NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Man, Jalen Clark is incredible. It's pretty awesome to see. It's great. I'm sure that Tim is also ecstatic by this because he was injured, and you come back and you have this defensive crazy. Also, his dunking tonight, I'll take that any night. That's crazy. Oh, my gosh. He did what he needed to do. I love it. Chicken soup for Cam Soul, for real. Oh, my gosh, the chicken soup books. I'm, like, thinking about those. There were a lot of those. My goodness. I didn't see him on the base sideline jumping. Yeah, I didn't see that either for you're talking about the Clark dunk. I thought that was going to happen, and I couldn't see Ant celebrating. Was he on the court at the time? What kind of modeling are you doing? I missed it. Well, I haven't told you about the OF. But no, for real, for anybody that isn't in on the joke, I'm not actually modeling. I believe Steve is in the joke, but for those of you that don't know, I'm actually a photographer, and I do photo shoots almost every single night. Not so much this week, but I do photo shoots like every day. And right now they're pretty late. So Zion isn't historically 40 points. Good though. Yeah. I don't know though. Like, I'm not saying that Zion's in the game and he has 40. I'm saying Zion comes in the game, scores his 20 to 25 points, and kills our spirit so much that we make zero run. Like, we made a run at one point in this game. What was our best run? We had, there was one run where we were 29 to 11, and I think it was in the first and second quarter. But like, if Zion's in that game, I think that breaks our spirit enough. It's like we're not mentally tough enough. And I think a lot of that falls on Ant. And this isn't me trying to like call him out and say that like this is a major problem. It's more just that he's really young. And so the team is having a young mindset. And this is some ways where if you have older players, you can, and Mike's one of them, but he's not like the main guy for your team. Even I hate mentioning him all the time, but even like Cat, I don't think that he was very mentally sound when he was playing the game because you'd see he'd argue calls all the time and Like that never changed. But I think there might have been times where he was either in foul trouble on the bench and trying to get people to maybe like keep their heads right or something. Same with Kyle Anderson. We've had a lot of those vets kind of come in and out over the years. And like we have Mike, but it's just Mike and I guess Ingles, but I don't know that Ingles is necessarily calming. But the two losses made it so I felt nothing from this win. I agree. I really am not that pumped right now. like this was good, and this is expected. So I don't know. Joe Ingles as point guard. Well, those minutes were terrible. Now, to be honest, that was somewhat of an honorary start. I was kind of surprised that they were like, "Oh no, this isn't just like a quick like we're going to play you for 3 minutes and then take you out for the rest of the game." Like he played a lot of the first quarter. He played like what did he play? He played 6 minutes or something like that. Where is he? Yeah, he played 6 minutes. So it was actually kind of real for a second, but he missed all 3 shots that he took. They were pretty wide open, and he had 2 fouls. He's just not like his body's just not ready. But yeah, he did what he needed. Yeah, exactly. We're talking about Ant. Yep. Ant going through some serious growing pains, Nicole. And this is okay. I know some of you guys were here last year. This is exactly what me and Ashwin, I guess I won't speak for Ashwin. This is mainly what I was talking about. I know me and Gerald actually have been on the same page about this. Ant needed to be away from Cat so that he could go through these growing pains rather than having the crutch of Towns. Ant needs to have the team to himself, know what it's like to have the team to himself, and navigate through these, like the double teams early on the season. He has somewhat navigated those now. He was at times incapable of like doing anything to get out of them other than turn it over or just like throw up some miracle pass to somebody and hope they're there. Now, as he mentioned just a couple weeks ago, he studies Luka Doncic film to see what he does with doubles, even though they're not exactly the same player. But that's the kind of thing that we need. So this is why coming into this season, I was like, I don't have as high of hopes as we did last season. I do agree. And I do think that we do have the potential to do some stuff in the playoffs if we really stay healthy and put our minds to it. It really depends on, and it's also kind of matchup dependent. If we go up against, if we go up against the Lakers, I'm definitely scared. So Wolves are manic depressive. I don't think he's hurt. Yeah, I don't know. Ant is so tricky. I think my belief, and I don't want to like recklessly speculate here, but with Ant, I really think that it's a lot of the time when he's not playing well, he looks slow or whatever. I really think it's more of a lack of motivation than it is an injury. Now, last season, we had a little bit more wonder when it happened to that because there were times where he would go through a little bit of a struggle, like sometimes even during when Cat was out, even though Ant had a pretty good time while Cat was out injured last year. There was still like he still had moments where it was like there was that Cavs game on national TV that he really didn't play well, and there was like a stretch after that, and we were like, oh well, he did fall on his hip, so maybe he broke his hip, and we were worried about that at a point, and that he was like playing through it. He had the hand, he had his finger, all these things, but this year it's not so much of like any injuries; it's just lulls, and I do think it's maybe just a mental thing, and I think it's something that he's gonna have to grow out of. Because he's only 23 or 24 or something like that. So I don't know. I want to see Jalen Clark make first team all defense. Maybe next year. That would be really fun. Wolves won 9 games in a row, and it didn't really mean anything because they didn't. Dude, okay, saw this. We were talking about this in the Discord, and it drives me so crazy. Timberwolves win 8 games in a row. 8 games in a row. And they don't gain a single position in the standings. They lose 2 games, they drop to the 8th. Like, this is the most infuriating situation of all time. And it just, it's so frustrating. I won't get over this. Jalen Clark can't be 6th man. He will start if Finch knows anything. Oh, Finch, yeah. Well, now... won't they OKC in the playoffs? I mean, we could play OKC. There's a lot of different possibilities. It's gonna be. I mean, we also if we're in the play-in, I don't know. So Urban Outfitters. Oh my gosh, how far am I behind? Holy crap, I got to catch up. And I really don't even have that much time. I've only got like 20 minutes left. He might not be putting up 40 points, but he's probably covering 20. You're talking about Zion. Yeah. Or I think you're talking about Zion. Maybe you're talking about Ant. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Butterfly, and that's the thing. He's just figuring himself out. And that's why I am still going to be lenient with Ant. I know I was very critical of Cat, and people didn't like that, but that's because I didn't start becoming critical of Cat until we were in like Cat, the first like 4 years or so, 5 years or so, it was like, okay, he's figuring it out. He doesn't really have a ton of help. I mean, he got Jimmy at a point, but like, we get through those first 5 years, and then we start seeing that like, oh, certain things aren't improving. He's still committing a lot of fouls and fouling out and offensive fouls. And, there was a lot of that, and it just like almost never improved. That's where I started being critical. We're noticing things with Ant right now. And if they continue to prove, then, that's one thing. Also, he's being thrust into a new situation this year. So I'm not overreacting, but I definitely am keeping note, as everybody should do, whether you're super critical of Ant or whether you're Ant number one fanboy. He needs to be held accountable. And I don't mean accountable as in like, some very scary term. I just mean like, he needs to be held accountable if he wants to be a better basketball player. And I think he wants that. So we'll see. Eric with the 5 gifted. I appreciate you, Eric. All-time legend here at Wolves After Dark. I love it. W. Eric, indeed. I fully agree on the lack of motivation part. Yeah, and I mean, as we know, he cares about playing the good teams or the big teams or sentimental teams like Atlanta. But then when you go up against the Jazz, or honestly, the Jazz he plays pretty well against. When you play against like the bad Pelicans, just the bad teams in general, he just doesn't care. But if you're playing the Lakers, he's probably going to be playing pretty well. Denver also, I guess. I mean, Denver's a good team, but not that that's surprising. But I think it's because we lost to them in the playoffs 2 years in a row or whatever. But yeah, Wolves should settle for the 7th seed and face the Rockets in the first round. What is the standings right now? Sorry, I can't pull them up on my laptop. Sorry, guys. I'm doing the low budget thing since I'm not since I need to use my camera here in just a second. The Rockets are the 2 seed right now. I have not been paying attention at all. When we lost 2 games, I stopped looking at the standings because I was crying every time. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, we should try to go against the Rockets then. And maybe that's why we played Ingles. No, I'm just kidding. I know why we played Ingles. Yeah. Yeah, he cares about the Suns because of KD. Durant as the Ant Whisperer is interesting. Developing Ant 24. See, Charlie Barley, yes. I agree. I think that KD could do that. He could be a good influence on Anthony Edwards. However, what you have to give up to get that, I don't know if we can afford that. But if you if you're looking at the next couple of years as, oh, it's not really a championship window, then maybe you do that, or at least not as much as it was like last season. Then you maybe take a chance and be like, okay, we're going to have KD for a couple of years and have Ant learn from KD. Maybe, but I still think it was important for him to go through this year on being alone as a star rather than having like a tandem duo. I'm not saying that that's how he's going to win a championship, but I think that that's good for him going forward to learn how to just navigate a lot of different things. And if he does get a star like KD or like, I don't know, imagine any star that we like Zion, we're not getting Zion, but like put him next to him, then it's going to feel like the weight is lifted off the bat. So I think it'll be good, but I'm hoping we meet Nuggets and Rockets. Well, I mean, honestly, that's kind of where we are. Because right now the Thunder are first, Rockets second, Nuggets third, Lakers 4, Grizzlies now have dropped to 5. Wow. The Warriors are in 6th, but honestly, I mean, okay, here's the other thing I wanted to mention before we get into the tier list, which is going to be a speed tier list because I only got 5 minutes or 15 minutes. The Warriors, I know they're winning right now, and I know it's frustrating, but I promise you they actually have a difficult schedule coming up. Not so much for the end of this month, They play the Hawks, the Heat, the Pelicans, and the Spurs. Not the easiest, but also definitely not the hardest. However, their April is a little tricky, depending on how much these other teams are playing, because they have what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and I'd argue that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those 8 games are going to be very competitive at the minimum, because they play the Grizzlies, they play the Lakers, they play the Nuggets, they play the Rockets, they play the Suns, who are trying to get into that last play-in seed, and it might take them all of every game. Then they play the Spurs, then they play the Blazers, which honestly the Blazers aren't playing that bad either, or the Spurs for that instance. And then they play the Clippers, who also are going to be right in the middle of seeding for everything. And our schedule is significantly better than that. Let me pull our schedule up. So we play the Pacers on Monday, which should be a revenge game for us. We should win that, although it is at Indiana. Then we play the Suns next Friday. We get a big break next week. Only 2 games next week, Monday and Friday. Then we play the Pistons on Sunday. Honestly, maybe we want to lose that just so that the Pistons can lock up the playoffs and get our pick. Then we play the Nuggets, obviously tricky. We do play the Nets. That's a little tricky because they've been playing better. The 76ers, the Bucks, the Grizzlies, the Nets, and then the Jazz. But that is still way easier than the Warriors. And the Warriors, I mean, they're getting hot, but they can't keep that forever, right? I don't know. What is the Detroit picking? Right now, it looks very good. I was just looking at it the other day. I think it's almost a guarantee, as long as they don't somehow fall into the as long as they don't fall in the play-in, which I think would be very difficult. Standings-wise, they're like 6 games ahead of the play-in. Right now, we would be getting their pick because it would be the 17th pick. So it's really almost as high as it can be. It's like the perfect situation because it's I think it's lottery protected. So it's top 14, then it goes to them. But that means you have to miss the playoffs. So if you make the playoffs, you're in. And right now, they're in. So it's looking good. And they're looking good. Cade has looked great. Motorcade, I think, is the nickname that they're giving him. So it's pretty fun. They're a fun team to watch, by the way. If you were like curious, if you haven't watched the Pistons, they are actually a pretty fun team to watch. I've watched a couple of their games recently. Cade is so interesting. But anyways, tier list time. As I mentioned, I am gone in 10 minutes. So this is going to be a very quick tier list. Also, I have to save my voice a little bit because it's still kind of happening where I start coughing after a while. I do have my cough drops right here. Not sponsored. But so let's start. Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles, everybody get your grades in for Joe Ingles. I'm going to read his stats. Not that it's important. Maybe I don't even have to read his stats. Maybe I read his stats I don't read his stats out of respect. I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. Because, see, this is exactly why I'm leaving it up to you guys. Because I feel like this could be controversial. First one, Steve says old. Now, does everybody know before? I guess I should have said this before. Does anybody know why he started tonight? Does everybody know why he started? Or does everybody just think it was like some random Finch decision? Because his son, who is autistic, was at one of the games recently. And usually he can't go to the games because he gets like overstimulated by going to the games. And this game, he was going to be here. And so they wanted him, and Joey didn't play in the last game that his son saw. So Finch was like, we're going to have you start. But he was still, oh gosh, it was for his family, but he was still, that's terrible. So it's old. We've got 2 votes for old, 1 vote for A1. Honestly, those are the 2 that come to mind. Old. It was for his family. It was beautiful. Yep. Nice. Also, Butterfly, the thing that I think about when I see this is like the NBA account posts this. This is going to go viral on TikTok. People are going to see this. And I think it kind of will paint like the Timberwolves organization in a good light. I think this is a good thing. Now, if at first I was kind of worried because I was like, oh, wow, we're playing him a little bit more than just like an honorary start. Like we're losing the game right now because we've done this. But it was a good gesture. How about this? We're going to make a compromise here because I don't have time. So if you guys need to cancel me for this is okay. We're going to put him in old. However, we're going to put old at an honorary above A1. First time ever, maybe. Just to kind of, because he was bad. There's no doubt about it that he was terrible. It was definitely old tier. And he's like, I mean, it's like the end. But for the specialness of the night, we're gonna put him at old at the very top. Next up, let's see. I got my stats up here. Sorry, I'm looking all over the place. We're not gonna do Billingham, who might have pulled his hamstring or something. But Bones looked pretty good again. I'm honestly kind of curious to see more Bones. I feel like that could be good. I mean, I'm curious to see Rob too, but Rob's kind of weird. He's like 50-50 great, and then like 50% great, 50% terrible. It's kind of hard to like witness. Garza with a casual 404. We're not going to grade him. Minot, not going to grade him. Terrence Shannon Jr., not going to get him. He almost had a crazy highlight with Dillingham. Mike only played 10 minutes. Wow, I felt like more. He didn't score any points. We don't have a second old tier for Mike, so we're just going to put Mike. I'm just going to say meh. I don't know. I mean, it was like Butterfly. Yeah, he did good, but I think Mike was just. I mean, I don't really. Again, meh doesn't mean bad. It's just kind of like you were fine and you played 10 minutes and didn't score anything. I can't believe that he didn't score anything. Is that true? Is that true? It felt like really good game for Mike. What was it? He had 6 assists, so that's part of it. He was a plus 18, but he had 0 points on 1 shot, and it was 1-3. That's it. So, but next, anyways, we don't need to talk about him. Nikhil, we're going to go to Nikhil next. We're skipping over Jalen Clark for now. Nikhil was 3 of 6. He had 8 points. He was a team, second high in plus minus. 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Felt like a pretty good Nikhil game. I felt like this was generally a pretty good game from him. Obviously not super high scoring, but he kind of came in. It was almost like a Mike off night. Like he didn't really, since he only played 10 minutes apparently. Yeah. Okay. So was it Na that had the lane violation or Nas? Because Nas started reacting funny. He started like smiling when it happened. But was it really Na? I'm gonna have to rewatch it. But I kind of agree with everybody in chat. I do think that it's probably a nice. I'm okay with nice. Next up, let's do. Next up, let's do Nas. Let's do Nas Reed. He was 6 of 13, 3 of 8 from 3, 15 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. This was a goodish game for Nas. I think it was probably also nice. I think it was probably nice. And sorry, I'm kind of flying. I'm running out of time. Just because he's struggled so much shooting lately, I still don't have a ton of confidence in his shot. But I think that this was still a decent game. So I think, yeah, nice. I like Steve minus. Nice. Nice minus from Steve. I think that's right. Next up, let's do Dante. Dante, 4 of 10. This is just like his stat line every night. 4 of 10, 13 points, 3 assists. He was a plus 16. I think he was also nice. This is going to be a nice night, I think, right? Everybody's pretty much nice. There wasn't really any too memorable moments. He had some nice threes. He was 3 of 9 from 3. I mean, basically all of his shots now are just threes. But I like it. So Eric says nice. Nicole, nice. Cool. We're on to the starters. We did Joe. We already did Joe. Let's do Rudy. Rudy had a decent game, I think. Get your grades in for Rudy. He was 4 of 5. It's so crazy to be only 4 of 5. But he had 15 points because he had 7 of 8 from the line. He had 11 rebounds, 15 points, did have 4 fouls, 3 steals. 3 assists. Pretty good game. Bring the nice. It is the dumbest look. I hate that so much. Until Ant said bring the nice, I was like, maybe that's okay. But then before I heard that, I was just like, it's not okay. So I think I'm gonna go nice. We'll put him higher in nice though than some others because I think this is a really good Rudy game. He had a couple never minds tonight that caused a couple never minds because Misi was going up for that alley-oop dunk at one point and Rudy kind of repositioned. That was actually, I don't remember when that play was. It might have been in the third quarter. Maybe it was the second quarter, but there was a time where the Pelicans ran a really nice play. I don't even know what it really was. It was kind of making my eyes freak out because they had the ball moving so fast and players were so crisp in their movements, but then Rudy just stopped that alley-oop. That was really nice. So yeah, we'll put him in nice. We'll see. Who else do we got? Let's do Jaden next. Sorry, guys, I'm flying through. We got 5 minutes. Jaden, 7 of 10, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, only 1 foul. Also plus 15. I mean, everybody was high tonight. Doesn't really matter. I forgot to mention Rudy was the team high plus 34, by the way. But anyways, Jaden, it's nice to have his shooting back. You need to have these. I mean, obviously 7 of 10 is crazy good shooting. We need this more from Jaden. And if he can do this more consistently, I mean, because he struggled in the last game. Was it the last game or the game before? I don't remember. I was sick, so it was hard to remember. But one of those games, or maybe both of them, he struggled. I agree with everybody in chat. Everybody's saying cash. Nicole, Steve, Butterfly, Charlie, Eric. I love it. Next up, Randall. Wow, I feel like I noticed Randall a ton in the beginning of the game and almost nothing at the end. Maybe I'm crazy. But anyways, get your grades in for Randall. He was 7 of 11, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Everybody had like the same stats tonight. It's so weird. Only 2 turnovers, not terrible. I think this was a pretty solid game from him too. Was it the first quarter for him that really did it for us? I feel like he was mainly our first quarter guy. But see if I can pull up that real quick. First quarter, he had 9 points. Second quarter, 5 points. Third quarter, 6 points, and didn't play in the fourth. So, yeah, he could have had a ridiculously nice stat line if he played all quarters. I mean, he's at least getting like 2 or 3 more rebounds, maybe 2 or 3 more assists, and probably like 5 to 10 more points. So he's looking at like 28, 8, and 8 or something like that. That's crazy. So, but for the game he had, I think he was nice. We'll put him in nice as well. Let's see. Where are we? Let's do Ant next. Anthony Edwards. Where is he? 6 of 13, 3 of 7 from 3. It felt like more, but maybe it's just because he hit like almost 50%. 17 points, 5 assists. Nothing super notable. As I mentioned earlier, I mean, this is more of just like a general observation, not so much specifically tonight, but his off-ball defense is still just like, even when he is engaged, which I believe tonight he was engaged, he was purposeful with things tonight. It was like, I don't know. He just gets lost when he's not on ball, and it's the same as Nas. Just drives me crazy. But I think that this was probably a meh or a nice. I don't know. You guys are kind of in between too. I think I'm going to go meh. Again, meh isn't that bad, but like for what we expect from Anthony Edwards, we're kind of expecting him to like go crazy, you know? And I actually, coming into the game, I was expecting this to be a huge game for Ant. I thought he was going to come in super motivated, which he did. He just didn't really come through that much scoring-wise. I mean, 6 of 13 is not bad, so like I'm okay with that, especially in a win. You can make the same argument if he plays the fourth quarter. He's probably in like 25 points. He's got like 7 assists, 5 rebounds. You know, we're not talking about anything, but yeah. So this is not a meh. It's a nice game. He literally got everybody open shots. I mean, he does get people open shots. He does. I mean, you could argue for his gravity. I don't know. Just because I don't have time and I literally have to leave in like 2 minutes, I'm keeping him meh. Jalen Clark, Everybody get your grades in for Jalen Clark. Clark had a great game. It's like crazy how much it feels great when we play him. 4 of 5. He had 11 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 1 rebound. I mean, there's really nothing there. But he hit 3 threes, and he had a dunk. My goodness. That was sick. Shout out Jalen Clark. We got to get Jalen Clark on the show this summer or something, or like next season somehow. I don't know, but we have to. This was such a good game from Jalen. I want games like this from Jalen all the time. Clark County Jail, for sure. Guys, I kind of want to go cash. And there we are. There's the tier list. And unfortunately, I got to go. No games this weekend. Our next game is Monday night. I am available for Monday night, so I will see that. Or I will see that and I will stream that. It's an earlier game. It's a 6 p.m. Central game. Like the stream if you haven't already. Sorry I missed the last 2 games, and sorry about all of me and Ashwin's absences this year. We've just been so busy, and I've been sick like a million times this year. It's really weird. But I appreciate you guys still coming through, watching the stream, commenting. I really do appreciate it. And I'll be certainly better by Monday, and I'll be able to do a regular stream. So, and hopefully it's a win. Hopefully the Warriors have somehow lost magically 2 times. Cool. Sad note, 52 wins is no longer possible. I don't even know what to say when that happens, because whenever I started saying that, we had never not won 52 games. Oh, well. But 52 wins is not possible. But the 6th seed is. 6th seed is still possible. Intro as the outro. We'll see you guys, as Tycoon says, in the playoffs.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the World Championship.
They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years.